Free warming and delicious soups, all using just one tray to create incredible flavour with minimal effort. Welcome back to the Earthy Goodness Kitchen. If you haven't tried the one tray roast vegetable soup method, then today you're in luck as I've got for you 3 delicious soup recipes. So let's get cooking. This first soup is a Thai-inspired fragrant roast squash soup. I'm roasting the squash with a whole garlic bulb, shallots, red pepper, ginger and some fresh chilli. The first reason I love using the one tray roast vegetable soup method is how simplistic and easy it is. I do it in 3 stages. First you've got the veg you're going to roast, then the ingredients you're going to add while blending them, and finally the soup toppings. I just really love how you can pop everything into the oven and then come back 40 minutes to an hour later to perfectly roasted veg ready to be turned into a delicious smooth soup. For all these soups, I'll be seasoning the vegetables with salt and pepper and a good glug of extra virgin olive oil. For this soup, I'm also going to be adding some coriander and cumin seeds to the roasting dish to add a bit more flavour and fragrance. When you take your veggies out the oven, just make sure they've got a lovely caramelisation, they've got some nice colour on them, and they're also nice and soft so they blend up really easily. So for the blending ingredients, I'm going to be adding a can of coconut milk, some veggie stock, and also the juice of 1 lime. This is such a beautiful, vibrant soup, perfect for warming you up on a winter's day. Some of the squash I chopped up nice and small so it could be used as a garnish. I'm also going to add some fresh coriander and a few chilli flakes if you like. It's velvety smooth. You've got lovely sweetness from the coconut, the red pepper and the squash, and then you've got a slight spice coming from the chilli. And then you've got a really nice background note of that caramelised garlic and that warming ginger. This next soup we're making is a lovely creamy roast celeriac and chestnut soup, perfect for winter. For this soup I'll be roasting celeriac, shallot, garlic, rosemary and some chestnuts. Another one of the reasons I love this soup method is that every bit of the vegetable is going to get beautifully caramelised and the flavour is going to be enhanced to the maximum. Whereas in a pan there is limited contact with the hot surface, so only some of the veggies will be coloured and you have to sort of stand there stirring it regularly to make sure everything gets caramelised. Whereas here we just throw it in the oven and we know we're going to get the most possible flavour from our vegetables. Some of the chestnuts I've broken up a bit smaller here, so they're going to go extra crispy and they'll be used as a really lovely garnish. It's amazing how you can add a whole bulb of roast garlic and it's not going to overpower the other ingredients compared to if you were to add it raw or just chopped up. The slow cooking of the garlic brings out its natural sweetness and gets rid of the bitter garlic flavour. To this soup I'm just going to be adding vegetable stock as the celeriac will blend up and make it lovely and creamy. A little bit of mustard is great to counteract the sweetness of the celeriac and garlic. Then some nutritional yeast for an extra nutty, slightly cheesy flavour. I gave the soup a taste and felt that it needed a little bit more seasoning, so I'm going to add some Marmite, which is a favourite of mine, as it also adds some extra umami richness. To garnish the soup, I'm going to add some finely chopped chives, the crispy chestnuts, and a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Wow, that is so good. It's earthy but sweet at the same time. You've got nuttiness from the chestnuts, a nice warming garlic going through it, and then you've just got the crispy chestnuts as well, which add a really nice bit of texture and are just super tasty. Definitely give this soup a go. This final soup is a little bit more unusual. We'll be roasting red cabbage with apple, potato and onion. We'll also roast some oyster mushrooms to make a really tasty, crispy, savoury garnish. Don't worry about peeling the apple, it's going to go beautifully soft and caramelised in the oven. The one tray soup method works with all types of vegetables. You could make a lovely roast tomato and basil soup or a creamy curried parsnip one. It's very versatile and it's how I learned to make soups while working in restaurants. For the oyster mushrooms, I'm adding a little extra seasoning with some garlic powder, smoked paprika, and a little bit of corn flour to help get them extra crispy. Simply massage this into the oyster mushrooms so they're all well coated. Take your mushrooms to the side for the garnish, and the rest we're going to blend up. For this red cabbage soup, I'm making it a little bit like you would make some braised cabbage at Christmas. I'm going to add some red wine vinegar and a pinch of cardamom and nutmeg. I may have added slightly too much to the blender here as I nearly get a red cabbage soup shower, so make sure you don't do the same as what I've done. If you're using a blender like a NutriBullet, let the soup cool down before blending, or any other blender, just make sure it's suitable for blending hot liquids. Finally, garnish with a little oat cream. I forgot to shake mine, so it's a little bit watery here, and then your crispy mushrooms and some parsley. It's sort of sweet and sour at the same time, and then the mushrooms on top add a nice bit of contrast. They're more earthy and slightly smoky from the paprika. Really nice, slightly unusual, I will admit. But yeah, really tasty. Tastes a bit like the sort of braised cabbage you have at Christmas, because we put the spices like the cardamom and the nutmeg in there. If you've got a lonely bit of red cabbage in your fridge and you don't know what to do with it, then this is definitely a nice option. It is slightly unusual, but I think it's really tasty.